Hello, everybody. I'm Sophia Parola with the Garden State Film Festival, and here with me is writer, director, producer, and cinematographer Usher Morgan with his short film, HomeBound. Usher, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking some time out to talk to us about your film.
Of course, of course. Thank you for
Very
having me.
exciting. Oh, of course. Before we get into the questions that I have and talking more about Homebound, I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell everybody watching a little bit about your film.
Okay, yeah, my name is Usher Morgan. My film is Homebound. It's an interesting perspective on a condition that has been around for a while and has gotten quite a bit of media attention over the years. It's agoraphobia. It's basically the story of a woman who is trapped in an apartment. She can't really leave her house. She's agoraphobic, and her rescue animal escapes. She has a little dog, and it runs away. So her therapy dog, sorry, not her rescue animal, her therapy dog runs away. And now she has to basically face her inner demons and decide whether or not she's going to leave the house and search for the dog. It's somewhat inspired by true events. I have a friend who had to go through a similar ordeal, and I have another friend who also has had severe agoraphobia in the past. So it was very interesting to get their perspectives. And I did a little bit of research about films, and I noticed that the portrayal of agoraphobia is usually pretty strange in films. They make it kind of like a cartoon character a little bit. Yeah, I figured it'd be interesting to make a movie from the point of view of the agoraphobe, which has not been done as far as I know.
Right. And wow, I mean, inspired by true events. That was my first question. What was the inspiration behind writing this? So can you tell me
Yeah.
about what it like when did you write this? How long did it take and what it was like, not only talking to people that you knew who had this phobia, but also just kind of getting to the perspective of that.
Yeah, I actually wrote it back in 2018. And I was wrapping up a feature film at the time. My debut, Pickings, was doing its thing in theaters, and I wanted to make a fun little short film. So I wrote a fun short film, and I wrote a short film that's not as fun, but is very serious. And then in 2019, we decided to just shoot the serious one. We actually wrapped it in March of 2020, and
Oh,
it's about
wow, just in time.
it's a story of a woman who can't leave her house,
Oh.
and what do you know? 2 months later, it's basically everyone is in lockdown.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, very good intuition on your part, but I guess you probably could have filmed this maybe during that time as well. Tell me what it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
directing this. A lot of it was emotionally driven and personal shown and not tell. So, what was it like directing those intimate moments with your lead actress, Katie Vincent?
Yeah, well, there's in these types of films, you really have to rely on the strength of the actor, and I think Katie Vincent is amazing in it, and she really stepped up and managed to make it interesting, because you could just have a person, I don't want to give anything away, but there are many ways to portray this particular character and the situations that she's going through, and I feel like Katie just found her voice, and she presented it in her own way. And I had discussions with her before we started shooting. We were talking about how you want to approach this, and I think we kind of see eye to eye. It's one of the reasons why we work a lot together. And then we got a chance to work with Sebastian Arcellus from Madam Secretary and House of Cards, and that was a delight. And of course, Bailey was the little dog.
So cute. So, how did you get Sebastian and Bailey and Katie? You said you worked with her before, and shout out to
Yeah,
Katie because
Katie.
I agree. She was phenomenal, and she is nominated for Best Actress in a Short Film, which is very much well
Yes.
deserved. So, yeah, tell me how you know Katie, and then how you casted the rest.
I met Katie in 2015. She was a lead in a very ridiculous short film that I shot called Prego. It's on YouTube. It's doing the rounds, and since then she's been in like 70% of my projects. I always find a way to like sneak her into it. She was also a lead. It was a supporting role in Pickings, which was my debut feature. And then halfway into the production of the film, she became a producer on it. And she just amazed me with musical talent and all sorts of talents that I never knew she had. And she became a frequent collaborator, so a creative partner of sorts. And when I made this film, I halfway into writing the script, I already knew, oh, this is Katie's going to play this role. So I'm just going to rewrite it so that it kind of fits Katie's personality a little. But yeah, I met her. I've been working with her for a long time. And then there's Sebastian Rosales. I got to him through Ellie Beans. It's a casting agency in New York City. They managed to get him. And I think, I'm trying to remember the name of the company. We went through a lady named Allison for the dog. I don't remember the name of her company,
Wow.
but she specializes in dogs in film. Yeah.
That's amazing. I never knew what goes into like casting the perfect dog for a film. If there's some self-tapes, if you just see, did you like go through pictures of dogs, or you just went through this company, she found the right dog for you?
We did. We actually asked her, hey, can we get some photos of dogs? And I kind of knew what breeds I wanted. So I asked for a King Charles, and she sent me Bailey, and he was a pup. He was very, very small. And then we actually had to shoot with 2 dogs because the dog only has so much energy. So we got an identical dog. It's a little older. You can kind of, if you look carefully, you can kind of see it's, oh, this is an older dog.
You got me. I did not notice.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my.
Yeah.
So that's amazing that you worked with Katie before and you kind of wrote it with her in mind, because she's the heart of the film, playing Jamie, and she just brought it to life, and you very easily can put yourself into the shoes of someone who's going through what she is. Can you tell me about directing? And you were co-cinematographer, so what was it like capturing those very intimate moments that Katie had? Was it planned? Did you kind of just like watch what you were seeing? Like what was that like?
It was planned, and then there was a lot of stuff that happened that was not planned. And I think just the way I approached this is skeleton crew. I wanted the apartment to be as empty as possible. I think we ended up working with like 4 or 5 people behind the camera. It was very, very minimalistic. And I wanted to basically create an environment that was kind of empty. And I wanted Katie to feel alone in the apartment. And she nailed it, obviously. And I think one of the ways I wanted to approach this originally was to make it very claustrophobic. So we played around a lot with, is the apartment going to be very dark and contrasty and cinematic? Or are we going with like a different kind of like a Fight Club, fluorescent light kind of look? And I ended up just deciding that it would be unique and interesting to make the apartment bright and warm and inviting. And when you look outside, it's dark and it's black and it's terrifying. So we even played with that, where she opens the door and she sees nothing outside but pitch blackness. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So I mean, was that all like, how did you collaborate to figure out these shots? Was there people that you worked with? Did you work with the other cinematographer? What was the process like of figuring out these shots and coming to this final look we see in HomeBound?
Most of the stuff in the apartment, I ended up doing myself. And I collaborated with a good friend of mine, Luis Obioha, who he was a cinematographer on Prego, and he was a cinematographer on Pickings. So I have a working relationship with him. I'm kind of inspired by his eye. I asked for his advice early on. He gave me some guidance on how to shoot outdoors, and some of the shots that we ended up doing without him. And then he came in for the Sebastian Rosales part of the film, and I think he had like 2 days. He had 1 day in the apartment as well. So it was very much a collaborative effort. And yeah, I definitely drew a lot of inspiration from it.
That's great. And it's amazing to hear that you work with people that you've worked with before, and you kind of have a crew, like you said, it's a smaller crew that you trust and that you know how they work. So that's really great. I think that explains why the film is what it is. Do you think that's a part of being such a great filmmaker, is working with people that you trust and know?
Oh, of course. You can't do this by yourself. Well, you can, but it's probably not going to be the best end product. I think trusting people and surrounding yourself with people you really like and respect and admire is, I think, the fastest way to making a solid product. Ultimately, you're telling a story. You want to surround yourself with artists and people who care about that story. And if you can convince other people that your vision is what it is, you create a better product. people just get excited about your work and they hype you up and they help you, and it's like a family, you know, when you're on a movie
Yes.
set.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, I wish Katie was here, and I know she couldn't make it, but I would love to ask you, how does it feel having a lead actress that you know, that you cast, that you directed, and who you wrote for, having her in mind, be nominated for the Best Actress in your short film?
Oh, it's amazing! It's amazing. We've gotten so far. I'm so proud of Katie. She's such a talent. Everything she does, she gives it like 200%. I've never seen anyone so committed to a role. Spoiler alert, and she might not like me saying that, but she actually had a legitimate panic attack in the film. We were shooting a sequence where she's having a panic attack. And she got really, really anxious, and I captured one of the shots that you'll see in the movie is a genuine panic attack. So she
She really
takes
put her whole
things.
self into that part.
Yeah, she
Wow.
puts her entire everything she's got into this role, and I really, really appreciated it.
You can tell. I mean, Katie, if you're watching, you are amazing and a beautiful actress, and it must be very difficult to show all your internal emotions. Like, it's just very internal and emotionally driven, this film. So, shout out to you both.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. No, to wrap up this interview, I know it's a wonderful interview. I could talk to you all day, but I would love to know why you submitted to Garden State Film Festival and what it is like having HomeBound screen at the Garden State Film Festival.
Oh, it's amazing. I've heard a lot about this festival, and I wanted to attend it for the longest time. And now I finally get a chance to attend it, and I have a movie playing in it. So that's a lot of fun. I'm so looking forward to being there. I'm probably going to be doing the rounds. I want to watch the other movies on the list too. It's going to be really, really exciting.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so happy. So this will be your first time attending the festival?
Yeah, this is our first time. Katie's going to be there too.
That is so exciting. I would love to run into you. I'm sure a lot of audiences would love to meet you both because you're very, very talented. And I'm so happy that HomeBound is in the festival this year. Congratulations to Katie and yourself on the nominee and on making HomeBound. It's a wonderful film.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, I appreciate you taking some time out to talk to us. Let me tell everybody how they can watch HomeBound at the festival. So you can always watch it virtually. We have an all virtual pass for just $44.95, I believe is the price. But you can also see it in person at the Jersey Shore Arts Center, Sunday, March 27th in the film block 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. So enjoy a beautiful short film and hopefully meet Usher and Katie. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the festival as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day and best of luck. Congratulations on your successful career and HomeBound.
Thank you very much. Thank you.